right in.
Hey, Bob.
Come right in.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Hi.
Hey, great.
No, I'm not kidding.
Hey, good deal.
How you doing?
How are you?
Why, hello, sweetie.
Hi. How are you?
Oh,
What do you do? Hug all the girls? Just
No,
you
why,
walk in the door and you start hugging
any
girls.
girl will come from that fella right there. She's sweet. Yeah.
This is a friend of mine, Jeannie.
Hi.
This is my grandpa.
Nice
Hey, Grandpa.
to meet you. Happy holidays.
Good to see you,
Good
boy.
to see you too.
Hi,
Hi.
Jeannie.
How are you?
Good.
Good. And
You're on candid camera.
I'm, Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave.
Yeah.
This is Jeannie. This is
I'm
my
one of the
grandma.
kids. This is my mom and dad and
Okay, and there's
My
the
cousin
camera.
Sue.
Hi. And
she's got...
Do something funny, Bob.
a nice
I don't know what
Christmas
to
gift, huh?
Show us your muscles. That'll be funny.
That would be fun.
Well, no, more for a toy.
Yeah, they're nice.
You're not
especially
taking
with-
it out.
Right now?
Sure.
It is,
Especially
yeah.
with the kids growing
Go
up.
ahead.
Grandpa don't know what to do.
Bob's a goose goose.
No, that'll be a classic there.
Huh?
Oh no.
Have you got a Christmas piece or anything you want to say?
Oh, gee, that Christmas dinner is a winner. The turkey getting thinner. There's just thy bones and neck like a wreck. Standing lonesome on the platter, run to feel yourself get fatter. When they pass the sweet potatoes and the stew corn and tomatoes. And the cloves stuck in the ham is the jam. And the cider with the tickles when you swallow. Christmas comes but once a year. You mustn't spoil it while it's here. Cause my stomach, oh, gee whiz. Guess that's where my conscience is. I hope there's some left for tonight when I have more appetite. All right, my Uncle John. Gee, that Christmas dinner is a winner.
Very good.
When I was 8 years old,
I haven't heard him do that in a long time.
I heard that a
For
million.
what?
a Christmas play.
Oh, for Christmas play?
Hey, here's
The
it.
old schoolhouse up north.
Ordering the van.
Never slippery. That's my
Yes, it is. Say something. Smile, Ed.
It's too light in here.
Hey,
How are you, Robert?
how you doing?
Kind of too light in here.
Say something clever, Ed.
Call me fair.
For what grade?
By that time, probably don't know.
He stopped in the hospital, Sam. Talks fast, carrying on the phone.
That's your bells, Dad. Get those on some horses, he'd like them, wouldn't he? On a pair of draft horses.
Is that camera paid for?
Yes.
We'll take the tag off from it then.
Did you wear this with your coat?
Oh, that's the lens cap.
Yeah, you
Now I see where my cousin Charlie got all his foolishness from. His father.
What's going on, hot dog?
Give me that foot.
Let's operate on this
Hey, you want to
guy.
bite a toe?
Yeah. I want to bite a hand. I want to bite an ear.
You better watch it, Bob. He's a big-time wrestler.
Are you?
You
Come on.
betcha.
You wrestling? Come
He's
on.
a Hulkster fan.
Don't get the bed.
Why not? And here we have Big Time Wrestling, starring Bob, starring Big Bad Bob, Defiant David.
He's got a weapon.
There's Grandma. She's Big Time Wrestling too.
Oh, you didn't get me in there, did you?
Sure. Let's see what do we can call Aaron here? Awesome Aaron. Oh, look at Big Bad Bob, shoes on his foot.
Yeah, she felt a little foolish today.
Oh, he loses his shoe.
But she said,
Do a body slam, Aaron. Oh, he clubs him with his shoe. I'll tell you that.
I'm gonna pin your brother.
Dangerous David is something else. He's really getting the best of that big bad Bob. Oh, he slugs him. Oh!
Go back to work.
It's 2 against 1, ladies and gentlemen, in our arena this afternoon. Oh no, he's got him in the bad Bob hug. Oh, it's a head clinch.
she's got a big computer from the school.
All right, body slam by Big Bad Bob. Here we go. Oh, David has no way. There's no way he can get out of this one, folks. There he goes, slams him on the floor. Show us your muscles, Dangerous David. Ooh, look at those muscles. Ooh, he's tough, ladies and gentlemen. He is tough. An animal Aaron, where'd he go? All I can see is his knees. There he is.
Giving up?
Monkey's uncle.
Giving up?
Emmett make a good pair, wouldn't they?
Uh-oh, folks. I think he's...
No.
Get back on him, Uncle
Put
Ed.
it on him. Put him on again with Mom will get it.
Doggone it, it's
Come on, David.
dark in here.
Please.
Come here, Davey.
Something like that, David.
Put it on him, Uncle Ed.
You won't hurt that. It's just an expensive sweatshirt.
Will Ann see this?
Hang on here. There you are.
Later she will.
Oh, it fits beautifully.
There you go.
Oh, how about
There you
that?
go. Wave at your ma now.
Like that.
Oh, David, that fits so good.
Thanks a lot.
She wants to, you bet.
What'd you get?
She wants to come down,
Oh, you got one of them.
We need one of those, Graham. Read it.
well, she got,
Thanks, Ann. Now I need a hammer to go with it.
You better ask your ma.
They've been, that's their motto.
You know? Like that. And I drove a Bronco. Almost. I almost bought the Bronco.
Glasses, is this it?
they're nice little red.
16,800
They got us
something.
Was it brand new, you mean?
with the...
Oh,
They didn't have.
Yeah, I got one of those
yeah.
too.
Did you?
Was it 4x4?
Hey, dude.
Oh, yeah, we
That's
got
why.
we each
Get
got
outside.
What's going on,
That's why.
well,
dude? I like that.
I wanted it.
See, that's where you tie up a lot of
This here-
expense when you go four-wheeler because you
Well, I
got
wanted it because
Oh,
two axles,
okay.
two
They only had
differentials.
one left.
Yeah, the whole
You need
business.
2 to keep them.
Not
we'd have to take on payments and stuff for it.
What did they want? They asked. He said, that was just a little while after you was born. That was just a little while before we moved. Yes? He says, oh. He backed up in a chair and looked at me. He said, yes, you can have the $100. But now listen to me. And he told me where the $100 was going. Right down the sewer. And all the rest of it. He says, if you want the $100, he says, you can have it. But he says, I don't want it. And he says, you will be just that much more in debt at the end of the year.
That was just before you gave up the farm.
That's just a little while before. That's after you was born. Home, told Lowen about that. We decided then to go to Big Rock.
Good thing you did.
Sure.
Now, we're standing here. We're in
Main Street.
Main Street of Burtch. That was the store where you bought all the groceries. And Grandpa, you. This was the bank where you done business right here with old Mr. Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're standing in downtown Burtch. April the 15th, 19.
Buy a car here. I'll get Grandpa walking right in the store here.
Nothing coming. This is where he traded when he was a boy and a young man. What was the name of this store then? Frank Mumstone store.
He died in Wayland.
Did he? You're holding up the lady for parking there.
antique store. I heard it was an antique.
Well, it's ceramics. That's what it is. Oh, and a beauty parlor.
Hello.
Beauty parlor.
Can I help you?
Now we're reviewing a little history.
Oh. Coral? Would you come out here, please?
You're doing hair job here in Mumstone store. Frank Mumstone
Hi.
store. Hello.
Said they're doing a little history, so I thought maybe they might want to talk to the owner. I know nothing.
Well, we're talking back in the 20s. He's 88. And
This is where we come to get our groceries for years, probably
Oh, really?
20 years. Frank Mumstone was running the store.
I know it was a dime store.
the grocery store there.
That was,
Grocery store? Oh, I thought it was a
that
dime
was
store.
after the grocery store.
Oh, okay,
Frank
left
Mumstone moved to Wayland. And where Wayland.
It's an old building, but.
It just all blends in together and follows your way.
Yeah.
I've got a card
Length is still there.
that was a photograph of the old building
Now,
set
you like
back
this
in
to
here. I
stand
don't know what to use it for.
Clear and to kind of
It's dated
down a little bit.
1909. 1909.
Yeah.
Just go.
If you need about 3 inches
I don't know how I
to
come to
stand
get it.
full.
But I
You've
thought about
got-
this place too many
I'm
times.
not going to cut, I'm just going to measure, okay?
Now, the store that I used to run in Altona for Jerry Densmore, he had a son. His son grew up and he came over and ran that store right there, that big store on the corner.
What kind of a store was it?
Grocery. And I see it still. They probably have groceries in one part and dry goods in the other. But that's an old store. When I was just a little boy, that store was right there. Yeah, they was doing a good business.
Now over there, the building is modern now, but on the front you can see part of the old opening there on the arches. And of course they built this wing on here. But that was the old original Barton School, high school as well as grade school. And when I was a little fella, I came here with my Aunt Esther, and she drove school bus. We'd come to that school there with an empty bus, and pick up kids, and then I'd go on the route taking them all home with her. And I thought that was a lot of fun. Up at the old Barton School.
Well, you mutilated that tree, yeah.
Yeah.
In there.
Now you're going to have to stay still
Over here.
He's
for her to get close enough so that she can hear what you're saying.
Since the church was moved. That's the well over there. You
Is
hear-
that the same well that was
No,
in
no.
there at the time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's the same well.
Yeah.
all right. Now, is this when the church that used to be here? This is where Grandpa preached.
No, this is where he went to church, and this is where the family went to church. Across the street there, across the road, where that trailer is where the school was. Dad went to school there. I didn't go there. Dad did when he was a boy. But this is all his stomping ground. This is where he grew up his whole life until he was a young man.
Now, see here? Here's a picture. Here's a picture of the church right there, and the cars outside. And this is a school. That's the church right there. And he's right in front of the church. And they're sitting right over there.
Yeah, right close to the road here.
The
Real
big
close to
cement
the road.
Steps, the big cement steps was out in front there. Was all gone.
Yeah.
Take
It
a
was
look.
almost into the road here is where the
Yeah.
steps
It
were.
was awful
Because
close
this
to the
was
road.
some of these roads were just sand roads then.
Yeah.
Just 2-track sand roads, Sue. They weren't as wide as they are now. They were just two-track sand roads. And I remember they were full of sandburrs because when I was barefoot, they'd get them sandburrs in my feet. You'd get them between my toes, and that'd make me cry. Now, who lived there, Dad? That house was there all the while.
Oh yeah, that's an awful old house. That's what they call the old argue house. Kinsman lived there when I went to school. Kinsman's.
Yeah.
That's the old, right exactly where that trailer house is where the school's at.
Yeah.
Only it was this way.
Closer to the road.
Closer to the road. A
Yeah.
little bit closer to the road.
Well,
But
it was
the
out
end
where
of
that...
The end of the trailer house is just about where the steps were.
yeah.
The old schoolhouse.
But wasn't the school right about where that rock garden is there?
Yes,
Okay.
just about.
Well, let's go on up to the farm now.
Wait a minute now. Now, right just over that row of stone up there where that man sits, where he's working there, just over that used to be a store, grocery store. And I've got the picture of the grocery store. That's what I wanted to bring up here to show you, but I couldn't find it. Right where he
Just the
is
other side of it.
working now was the schoolyard. And we used to.
Now you got a picture there of you playing ball in the schoolyard.
Yeah, but that's over there about where that red barn is.
Because there's the picture right there.
Yeah. And that's the old toilet to the schoolhouse. See, here's my picture back here catching, and this is Bernie Stiles pitching, right there. And that was just about where that red building was there.
Yeah.
And up on that hill where that red barn is, way up on the hill, it used to be a nice house. And his name was Randall, not Reynolds, Randall. His name was Randall. But just over from where that row of stone are, runs along, it used to be quite a nice grocery store. Quite a nice place. Almost to the road was a long row of sheds. And that was to house the horses when they come to church. Put the horses
Put
in
the
them
horses
sheds.
in the shed out of the snow and the rain.
In the rain.
Or the
That's
heat
right.
in the summertime.
That's right.
Out of the heat.
Now we have parking lots. Our
Yeah.
church just bought some land for a bigger parking lot.
Yeah. Well, they had a parking lot for horses.
Come on. Could be a school house there.
Right there, I guess.
Yeah.
Where that trailer house is.
Yeah.
Right down in here,
Schoolyard.
right at the other end of where you've been digging there, used to be first base. Boy, the ball,
For the ball field.
dive. Right down in there, just about the end of where you're digging up for garden. That was first base. The second base was up in there near that big tree. Then we'd go around to the back end of the church. That was home run.
For school, you mean?
Yeah.
There was a store
Right.
here.
Right over here, just beyond that row of stone on that raise, it used to be a nice grocery store sitting there. You remember?
No, I don't know. We, been here about 8 years.
Oh, yeah. Are you from this area? This general?
No, I lived down around northern Grand Ledge area.
Well, that's where I live, Grand Ledge.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I worked in Lansing, retired.
Came up here.
He's chief of police there in Grand Ledge.
Yeah. Burtch. Dave Burtch.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah. So Bob Wells used to in Grand Ledge, and
Bob Cade years ago, and,
Bob Cade.
and Bill Carter.
Yeah, Bill
Carter.
Carter's man.
Yeah.
I still in this thing, I'm writing up my driveway.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You're
About
just
the line.
about to the line fence. You see where that hay divides up there? Highest is on the Adams place, and the lowest is on the old 40.
And there's the old homestead over there. See those
That's
old
right.
houses over there, Sue?
That's the old
Those
farm.
outbuildings. That's the old
45
farm.
acres.
Where I
The old 45 acres. It's fractional 80, they call it. 45. And Mom. on that side of the house.
Up on the hill there.
In 1927. That's the old car.
Now that garage wasn't like that when we were there. There was no garage underneath. That was a lawn out here, and then that was a porch across there.
Yeah.
There wasn't no garage the way it sits there now.
No.
However, these bushes
Now here,
and all that was all
There's
there.
the picture of the house when Dave was born, and it was in this window where the boys, where Lillian and my bedroom were. And this was the girls' bedroom, but there was a big bay window, and that fella, you see the height of that house? He cut that house right through, just in half.
Cut it right in half. So it doesn't look like it used to. It used to be a much larger house than this.
Yes.
This was the driveway right up through here, and it was sand. It was all sand in the road here, 2 tracks, sand road. And this was the sand road up here.
There was another driveway down that way. You come up through that
Circled
way.
up.
That's how. He wanted to build a garage so he could do garage work when he moved in this house. He bought 5 acres in the house, a fellow did, and then ruined it. But that was a pretty good house. We put 1,200 bushel of potatoes in the basement.
1,200 bushel. A lot of potatoes, Grandpa.
It was. And that same old lilac bush, Dave, that's the same old
Same
lilac bush there when we lived here.
Yeah, well, those over there, too. Yeah. Now, this house here, Sue, see, he cut it in 2 right there. He cut it right in 2 and put this on. This is the foundation that used to be the house. Came out here to this corner, and it was a porch on the front. And you went up here to the back door. That door is still the same door. But this was a house all the way to the corner there. Went straight up, and then come down, and that was the biggest part of the house, was right there. That was where the upstairs was. This was the kitchen back here. And there's where the potatoes used to be stored.
Goodness, look here. Here's the original well. The original well. Right there.
Yes, sir, look at that. Oh, my gracious, look at that.
That's the original well, 135 feet deep. 5 feet deep, that is. And this is the original well house.
Well house. Look at that, Sue.
And there used to be a windmill here.
Well, that poor bird, is it dead or alive? It's dead, I guess.
What?
That bird right there. He's dead.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, this can be very dangerous here.
That's the original well. Just as sure as you live.
Now there was a porch right here,
Yeah.
where up to the back door there. See the back door over there? And there was a porch along there. And that was the kitchen in the corner here. And another door over here. Now when I was a boy, it seemed like that this was much larger from my boy's perspective. But there's the stairs going down into the basement, and there's where they put hundreds of bushels of potatoes in the sand down there. Cover them up with sand.
If I had
See, there's the stairs, Susie going upstairs when it was a 2-story, and he cut that off when he rebuilt this house. He ruined the house.
I've hauled hundreds and hundreds of bushels of potatoes out of that basement. Don't fall there. I wouldn't go around that.
You go right through
You might go right through.
all the way to the basement, so that you don't walk in there.
Goodness, what a house can be when people eat.
Over there, the old toilet, ready to fall apart. And there's Grandpa's old barn. That's not much left of that. There's the old stone piles. I remember the stone piles. They brought them from out in the field and threw them all in one place. so they wouldn't break a plow point. Here's the old toilet out there. That's where you had to walk out there and go. In here?
This was a bedroom here, or this was like the
No, this was a door. Well, see, the doors, I'm confused now because the doors, that wasn't that way on those walls over there at all. That isn't the way that was. That was a house all the way clear out to where that roof of that garage is. And that's all changed. This was the back part of the house at the time. I think this was the dining room right here. I'm pretty sure it was a dining room. This is all caved in here. That didn't used to be like that. That's the foundations caved right in. That was all those stones down there was part of the stone foundation here before it fell in. It was an old, what they call Michigan basement. It was a sand floor, yellow sand.
And you played right where you're standing when you were a little boy.
Yeah, there's part of the door frame right there. I'm sure the old original door frame.
You ought to take the doorknob.
Yeah, and I played right in through here. We played right in through here. Well, after we left here, I still came back here in the summer and visited. And stayed here with my grandpa 2 days at a time, and we played. A lot of memories right here. A lot of memories. See, none of that was there. Well, the basement part was. The foundation was, but with the house on it instead of a roof over a garage. I don't know what in the world he done that for. Well, Dad said he wanted to make the garage there to work out of.
What's Grandpa doing over there?
Well, there was a little building over there. I think there was a chicken coop out there somewhere. Grandma Burtch had guineas as well as chickens and ducks. She had guineas. You know what a guinea is. And she would come out here with her apron full of corn or flour or something. And she'd shake her apron and here, guinea, like that, and they'd flock all around her feet. And she'd shake it down and they would be pecking and eating around. Those little guineas loved her. He's out there looking for a stone. Yeah, see, I told you, Sue. I told her I remembered a chicken coop out there. Yeah. I knew that it was out there somewhere. Your grandpa's barn was right there. Yeah. Did you get that in, Sue? And all those lilacs and things that you see down there, all those bushes were there. Yeah. They're the same ones. It was there all those years ago. Took the horses in from below there. The old chimney's going to pieces. Yeah, the chimney's falling down now. The building is just about gone. It won't be here very much longer, I don't think. You're going to clear this ground, but that's nothing to do with that. Maybe that was.
How about this part here? Was this here before?
Not all of that was on there, was it, Dad? That addition on the other side, that wasn't there. I don't remember that. He's built that on there at the shelf, and I don't even know what it was.
Extra bedroom, maybe? No, it's got a door on it, though. Shed, workshop.
Well, hard to say what it was. It's an additional room for some reason.
was Ransom?
No, feed Lansing, he said.
Oh, I thought it
Said if
said
you-
Ransom.
He said if you had all the potatoes that he carried up those steps, it would feed Lansing for over a week.
Susan, right out in there.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Right about here was a sweet cherry, black sweet cherry tree. And it was a beauty. Every spring that blossomed, we got, probably 10 quarts anyway, of black sweet cherries off that tree right here.
Yeah.
This is great. Make you feel a bit sentimental, huh, Dad?
Yeah.
Good times here?
Good times. I feel sad that the way it looks, so. But that's not the way I remember it.
Whoever lived here, though, didn't have the memories, so they didn't care. You know, they let it go down. I'm sure at one time it was a real pretty little house. Now, how many did Ed and Aunt Ginny? Aunt Ruthie wasn't in this house.
No, none of them except me.
Just you?
Yeah.
Then after here, you moved to...
Big Rapids, and Ed was born in Big Rapids, and so was Ginny. And then Ruthie was born in Altona, which was Dad's first circuit after we left Big Rapids and went on Dad's first circuit. And Ruthie was born.
Lois wouldn't turn the place over. Right there, she'd heard about it. Her first husband, heartbreaker, I didn't hear.
When the second story was there.
And I was up there to bed. Yeah. I think it was Sunday morning. And she stood out here out of the car, her and her husband. Did they ever give me a blessing? And it was the wrong kind, too. It just heard.
It was in your name.
Yeah.
So you got to understand here, Sue, that this house, there was a second story. When this guy made this over on the front, he also cut off the second story here.
Well, you can see evidence of that from the stair
Yeah.
well in the
Yeah.
kitchen to the back
This
door
was a
here.
two-story house. The whole house was two-story.
Now these stairs lead to nowhere,
Well, yeah, they lead to
to the roof.
Stone wall around it here was in good shape, too.
Oh, yes.
Good shape.
I'll bet this is where your mother told you to wipe your feet.
No problem. There and this other door over here. Well, okay, I guess we can go.
Yeah. There's where George Harper lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. About 60 years ago, painted that house. And I don't think it's had a thing done to it since.
Doesn't look that way, Grandpa.
Huh?
It doesn't look like it's had much done since.
No.
At one time, it was a nice little house.
Yeah. A black man owns it now. This 5 acres from Everett.
Well, that's if he hasn't sold it to somebody else. I don't know.
Well, that might be true too.
Yeah, somebody for the land. It looks like they farm this all the way around here. Well, except this part right here. Of course, maybe he just kept an acre or two with the house.
5 acres.
Is it 5 acres?
Oh, 5 acres now.
If I could get Annie to do it,
Anger.
if I could get Annie to do it, I'd come up here and clear all this, including this house, clear it out, and put up a nice mobile home with a detached garage for my wood shop, and we'd live right here where I was born for the rest rest of my days. But she
That's
would
why
never
you-
go to the country.
There's where I used to go right down in there and hunt rabbits.
Yeah. Well, this was a potato field out here.
I owned that once.
Was it full of potatoes once?
Yeah, all right. It's all maker field right in here.
Yeah.
I planted every one right here.
Now you see this road too has been built up there too,
Oh,
Susan.
yeah.
That went way down to where you see the field, down to that level. It went down a hill there, and it was a sand hill, and cars, old Model T cars, sometimes they get stuck in the sand, and they'd have to go pull it out with a horse and the mud to get it up this hill, because they couldn't make it in that sand, them old Model Ts.
Frank Mumstone tried to drive this road through here one time. Then though they run that grocery store in Barrett I told you about. He got stuck right down in there where those trees are on this side of the road. Couldn't get out. Fiddled around there a while and finally come up here and he said, Dave, will you come down and pull me out? Yeah. So we went down with the horse, or the team, pulled him out, clear up here on
Well, let's go on then. You got right here, this vacant lot right here, where Dad's walking,
The
was
stone here.
was a brick church.
And this is the stone part of
Well,
it.
this stone probably is part of the old foundation, but that church set right out here, and our house set right where that trailer is now. That's where our house set. And that barn there, that gray and white barn, that was our barn. And where that garden is the same place the garden was when I was a boy. Here. That house there wasn't even there.
Now all four of you were born now. Aunt Ruthie was
Aunt
born
Ruthie
here,
was
right?
born when we lived there. We stayed. You see that pine tree with the junk there, back of it, right over there?
Yeah.
That was where the Marshalls lived. There was a house there. And they sent us across the road to Marshall's house when the doctor came in December, and Ruthie was born, and then they came and got us and told us we could go back home. That's where we lived, right there. And,
Oh, see, those people that were filming their house.
yeah.
We better explain to them what's going on.
Yeah.
They're gonna.
Coming to deliver Ruthie. Over here, back in there was a trail. Looks like it's still there. Went back in there, and there was all swamp, flooded out back in there. And we used to go back in there and go skating. And because it was a swamp, we'd skate out amongst the trees and the stumps and everything, and we played hockey and the whole had a great big time. Had a great big time.
Okay. You're gonna have to explain to these people what we're doing here.
Yeah. Howdy. Hi. Marshalls lived there. Did you know them? No, you guys wouldn't.
I came up here a few times. I think
Well,
just
I'm
the
talking-
boards are standing.
I'm talking 50 years ago,
looking
so
out the
you
window.
long before you were here.
Yeah, my grandma and grandpa.
This was 50 years ago.
Folks had gone away and
But
they
more
left
than 50
two boys
years
to
ago,
home.
it was-
One boy, pretty big boy, and the other one was smaller. The little boy had an axe.
Did you know the Steins?
54.
Oh, I
yeah.
guess we did.
Yeah, that
54 years ago.
Arnold Stein.
Let me-
Arnold Stein.
No, I knew Tyrus and Danny and
Your
Ernest.
name?
Yeah, Ernie.
Stein?
Ernie
Oh,
Stein.
yeah,
I run
they-
around with Ernie.
Anyway,
Arnold is
the
his
other
brother.
boy
I'm
was
their
chasing the
their
other boy
grandson.
with an axe.
You are?
Yeah.
Is your name Stein?
No, it's Wood.
Wood.
And
Yeah.
I said to him,
These
I went
guys
over there and I
Steins?
said, what are you
No.
going to do with that axe? He says, I'm going to kill my brother.
Yeah. Steins used to own this town here. That one right there, that used to be my
That was
mother's
Ernie's. That was Ernie's.
That burned
house
down.
right there.
Ernie's house was that house right over there with the
We lived there 3
tin roof.
years.
That's
Yeah.
where Ernie lived there. Ernie and I was about the same age. Ty was old.
The old barn is still there, where I used to keep my
Well,
car.
there used to be a swamp back in here.
Yeah,
That's where we
still
went
is.
skating all
Yeah,
the time.
still
We'd
is.
skate in amongst the stumps and the trees and play hockey there and had a good time back there. And,
Didn't you used to have a
Ernie
cow,
fell in
Grandpa?
back there once. Ernie fell in. You know Ernie? Well, he's your
Yeah.
grandpa?
No, he's my great uncle. He's my grandpa's brother,
Okay, what's your grandpa's name?
Arnold.
That was Ernie's younger brother.
I think so.
Yes, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Didn't you used to have a cow here, Dad?
Yes, we had
Yeah,
a
and
cow
I kept
here
her
then.
in that
We're in
barn.
that barn right there. Yeah. And the garden is still in Bernard the same. The garden was bigger then, wasn't it, Dad?
Yeah, the garden was right in here. But here's where
The same place.
here's where part of the church was.
Yeah, the old foundations there. We're talking 50.
Here was the steps right here.
I started school in Big Rapids,
Church
but I
was
went
right in here.
across
Was
the
this his
dam
first
where the
parsonage,
school
Dad?
is.
Held a funeral.
Hi,
there
doggy.
one time.
Second, third,
Same
fourth
church.
grade I was in that.
That was way back in the 30s.
Still over there. Yeah, but I don't think
That's
that's
foster
36,
care home now. It's a
37.
what? Foster care home. for
38.
old folks.
Is it?
Folks, yeah.
There's a church up there. It used to be. Is that still there?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Whole area here.
Was this the first parsonage for Grandpa then?
Yeah. That house up there, that's looks like it's brick.
That store where they
That was the Ostranders lived there.
two stores. Store.
A bar,
Upstairs.
two bars,
See, he'd work till 11,
a barber shop,
11 o'clock at night, and then
a
he'd
hardware.
go home and do his book work.
I don't know what it was. Mine
Of course, he didn't
store.
feel like that now.
And the dam,
I run his store.
the dam to the east there was all flooded with a huge lake way back, and the dam was 22 feet.
Pretty dog.
Who runs the store now?
Bacon's.
Bacon?
What if that's the same
Is there
bacon?
any relation to Will Bacon, who used to live up in here?
I don't know. Do you know what that is? No problem.
I bet it is.
Because there's a kid, guy named.
This was Will Bacon.
I know.
Been
I'm just
dead
saying.
for
Spark
years.
might have named him.
Yeah,
Problem. After.
yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
The old swamp's still back there, huh?
Yep.
There used to be a lady lived down there in that cream-colored house with the name of Weir. Mrs. Weir.
Yeah.
She lived there all alone.
The Steins had the post office up here where that man's walking. That house there. And their mother had the post office, and all this wooded area right there, clear almost to the corner here, was all big barns and fences, and they had cattle and horses and everything. It was all over there. I see now that all that's left is this over here where the horse is. Yeah. All very.
What year did they tear the stone church down, boys? Huh?
Well, about
What year?
Maybe 20 years ago or so.
73? Yeah.
So it's probably about 20 years ago or more.
Oh, there was a great big hole.
well, there was a hole here.
When we first moved here, they had a
Filled it
hurricane.
in later on.
Came from the west. and
It probably wasn't too long before that.
My dad filled
broke
then,
most all the
It
windows
was taken
out of the
down.
church.
It was a brick church, yellow brick.
All new windows.
It wasn't here now.
Quite a big church, as I remember.
Well, I felt like saying,
Ethelstein.
yeah, that's right, Ethelstein. I felt like saying, lady, girlie, this is not a laughing matter. But I didn't say it, though. I just let her laugh.
Now there was a place right here that was an old garage sit here, a mechanic's garage.
Let's go over to that store for fun, just for fun.
All right.
Don't park out on the pavement. Park back in here out the way, because it go down through here like a shot out of a deer rifle.
It's all fast.
308
Grandpa.
too.
That dog do follow us over here, Sue? That's a different dog. Now, Susie,
Huh.
at this corner here, all the way down to where those houses are, that was all shops. Barber shop, 2 bars, all kinds of things going on down there. Look at there. There's a house trailer, looks like, and it burned. Boy, it did burn too. Look at it, burned it right up.
What you guys doing?
Huh?
What you doing?
Oh, just looking around.
How can we taping Altona?
Well, I was a little boy.
There's nothing to
I
see
lived
here.
I lived here. It's not what?
Nothing to see.
I don't know. When you
Nothing to
come
see?
when you
Well.
come from the city, it looks pretty nice here. You know that?
Oh, I seen that car up there. Here, God, Ruby.
Yeah, you see right here.
Quarter hour.
Now those trees weren't there. Those trees weren't there. Starting right here at the corner, going all the way up to about that tree. That was all a great big mechanic's garage and everything. It was come right out to the road here, right up close to the road.
So Altona definitely.
Oh, it was a
It's
little town
changed.
then. Yeah, you see, now there's nothing now except the store. The only thing that's left. It was all shops. Starting in that corner there, it was all shops down through there. Yeah. I'll show you the river down here at the dam where Edward almost drowned. He claims I saved his life, but I don't remember that I've done that much.
Well, hi, Pooch. Door. Now tell me about the store, Dad.
This store, of course, has changed quite a bit since then. But this store had a radio. The only people that had a radio, because it was a battery-operated radio, big cumbersome thing. And we came down here to listen to the Joe Louis fight, and he was fighting somebody. I forgot who it was. It might have been Billy Kahn, or one of his famous fights anyway. And we come down here and listen to it, and there were several people of the town that came down to listen. And at the time, we had company. Uncle Eddie from Chicago. He came down here with us, and we listened to the Joe Louis fight. And I remember that was exciting. It was over the radio. And you couldn't hear it very good because there was lots of static, you know, making funny noises, and everybody would strain to listen to it. And I remember that was a big thrill. Must have been about 1935. 1934 or 35, right in there somewhere. Because I was about 6 or 7 at the time. I don't remember a lot of details about it. What? We stopped here last time. Did we? Yeah.
Stop again. How you doing, sir? How's it going? You doing the store? I used to run it. Yes, I did.
Did Hank Billy spot a field?
Go ahead.
Very dim
Daughter
store.
is.
I lived right down there.
Oh, I gotta go pick up a horse.
The parsonage, pastor of this church. And Russell. Jerry wanted the store open at 6:30, and run until 10. He couldn't be here. He's up there doing the woodwork. And then he'd take it till 11 o'clock at night. Then he was too tired to do his woodwork, so he left it in the woodwork. And he didn't want this store closed. So he hired me to run it from 6:30 to 8.
Susie, look at that calendar there. 1929.
That was my grandfather's.
The door down back here. We lived where that trailer is. That was our bar, that gray.
The barn was in pretty good shape.
And there used to be a little store
Yeah.
and businesses all the way through here. The dam was down there, not a huge lake. And we crossed the dam every day to go to school. And of course back in 1933, 34, 35.
You probably, did you know the Bacons, Irene?
Yes.
Well, that's my
yes.
husband's mother. That's his mother.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
big steak.
There's Irene and Myrnie and Hazel
I
and
don't remember all their
Harriet.
names, but I remember that there was some Bacons here. Steins. There was
Stein. There's
all
still
over.
Steins all over.
Half the town
But there's
was
summer.
Stein.
There
Yeah.
still is.
Is there?
But they're just summer now.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
The town was bigger then. There was more houses,
yeah.
and
I said, really, it's too bad they tore down all these old buildings.
oh yeah.
Because
Right
we
across
would
the
just
street
give
here,
our eye teeth to have
from
an
the
old
corner
building.
up to about where none of those trees were there.
No,
From the corner up to
there was
almost
pickle
halfway
back
there,
or something there, was
there
there?
was a great big garage there, mechanics garage.
Uh-huh.
And he fixed cars there, and well, there was a lot going on downtown.
Yeah.
There were 2 bars downtown.
Yeah.
And a barber shop,
Yeah.
hardware, Seaton's old store down
Yeah.
used to be down here.
The foundation's
The
still
bakery,
there.
bakery down there somewhere. I can't remember all the stores. This was a
Rooming
busy
house.
place.
Oh, was
Busy
it?
place, yeah.
Yeah.
This was a store. Dad
Yeah.
worked here
Oh,
for a time.
it was still a store then.
And I was telling her, my daughter, that we came to this store. It was the only place, there was no electricity in California then.
Oh.
Okay, I can pick you up from here, Dad.
Okay, come closer. Shoot right down through here. Where we're standing right here, that's part of the foundation right over here. Foundation there. Where we're standing here, up at the road level, this was the mill. Now this down here, through here, that's what they called a raceway. There was big wheels through there. The water would rush through there. It would turn those wheels, and that's what ground the wheat and the corn and the oats and all that into flour. This was a grist mill. It's that right here. Over there they had the gates closed most of the time. The other side of the dam, for as far as you could see, over in there was all lake. The other side of the dam was 15, 20 feet deep. But all of these trees all grew up since then. None of them was here because the dam, where the grist mill went right up to the road there. Down here, right over here where you see the sand and where it makes the turn around there, all up and down there is where we went swimming as kids. We came down the street, walked through a path, went through the underbrush down through there, and sometimes we came all the way to the mill and followed through there. And we'd go swimming down there in the sand. Of course, it's always had a pretty good current. And Ed Perner drowned back there. We grabbed a hold of him. He was going under, and because the water, the current sucked him right under, and he couldn't swim. I learned to swim down there. Most of the time we wasn't supposed to be there. Our mothers didn't know it.
What do you have to say about that, Grandpa?
Well, that's probably true. That's probably true. I didn't know it either. Or somebody had got their butts spanked. Oh, and when we went swimming down there, we always took a little bit of salt in a salt shaker, or else a piece of paper wrapped up, because we get the bloodsuckers on us.
Oh yeah, shake a little salt and they fall right off.
Between our toes and on our backs and everything, we get bloodsuckers, and then we'd look each other over, sprinkle a little salt on them, and they'd drop off.
Fall right off.
Yeah, and we keep right on swimming. We didn't care.
Another name for those are leeches.
Yeah, we call them bloodsuckers. It's all sandy bottom. Sand and gravel. But the water went right underneath the dam through this raceway. Now, if you want, we'll go up on top of the dam here. I'll show you. This is the old road. All the traffic went through here. That road over there wasn't even there. Matter of fact, where that road is was a lake, probably 25 feet deep in some places. All of this underbrush that you see there, none of that was there. That's all grown up since the 30s, because that was all lake. And as you can see, the water was deep here. It came all the way through up to this raceway there. That's where that raceway begins, and the water went tearing down through there and turned the wheel. The water was clear up to over there and beyond, all the way out through there, because that roadbed wasn't even there then. And you can see how deep the water was, because the water was almost up at the top of this bridge. And the kids went swimming here and dove off of this railing into the water there. The bigger kids. I didn't. I would imagine this is probably been damaged right here. How it sank here too.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
that's the road we walked down through there, and it curved around to the right to go to the school down here, about a half a mile. We'll be there in just a minute as soon as we leave here. It goes down through here and curves around to the right. About a half a mile is the school, and that's where we walk from where we lived back here. Every day we walk down through here. And our mothers, of course, always cautioned us to not hang around this dam. And all along the edge of the road here was a fence, a wooden fence. And it had a wooden top on it. It stretched from here all the way down and around the curve. Now, if our mothers knew what we'd done, they'd have had a conniption fit, because we used to walk on the top of that wooden rail and down like this. And if we'd have fell in the water, I don't know what would have happened, but we were just little kids then. You can see the force of the water here. Pretty good force. See where the water marks were, too. The water used to be way up.
I think that's quite deep in there.
I don't know if it's deep now or not. It used to be deep right in there because of the water action kept digging them down like that.
What's that say on there?
Well, it looks like it says WJB. July 1. And further on the end of it, it says 1919, so I'm assuming it was all done at the same time, because the cement would all have been wet at the same time. Over to the school, where I have the school. There's where I went to school. There was a bell in that belfry up there. The teacher's name was Mr. Godbolt. Now to the left, about where that fellow's car is there,
right in there was home plate, and we hit the ball over back towards those trees where there was a forest where those cars are back there. And Mr. Godbold could hit it all the way into those trees, and we thought that was an awful ways. Now we're on the road ahead here, ahead of the car. That curve right there was a high bank curve, and it curved right around there, and then down there's
Say about this church, Grandpa?
He had a big funeral there. Steins lived there in that house. It was